have an aneurysm if this doesn't work this time. Please work this time. Please work this time. Please work this time. Please. It worked this time. It worked this time. Ah, yes. Grand. Beautiful. All right, let's turn off OBS. We don't need to use it. It was such a struggle. I don't want to talk about it. Hi, guys. Okay. I need to tell you a story. I was actually on time today. I'll have you know. I was on time. But for whatever reason, StreamYard was not going live on the actual YouTube sphere. It only said it was live for like 2 whole minutes before I just ended the broadcast and then tried to restart it. And then I tried to restart it again and it didn't work, but then it worked because there's, I guess, a delay. And so it's like a second. 1 entire second's worth of stream. And you know what? It's fine. It's fine. You know, this is why we have the Weebo Jones merch coming out at some point in the next couple of weeks. I have a sticky note right here to remind me of that. But that was, you know, that was a whole ass thing. Let me just mute this and get all of the shenanigans up because I see you guys are in the chat and all that jazz, but I want to make sure all of this stuff is copacetic. To the updates part of this, Polly will not be joining us this evening. Polly is unfortunately tied up at the moment with his own issues, which is fine. We can carry on the show, just you and I together. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But he will be back for the next show, hopefully, which will not be this coming Sunday and not next Thursday, but the Sunday following this Sunday. So does that make sense? Right? Okay. So let me just exact that date for you in your minds. All right. So we're clear. All right. The next Cocktail Hour episode will be. Hang on. I gotta double check. Yes. Okay. Sunday, the 6th of October, 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this channel. Polly will be there. If he's not, I will be sad, but we will still carry on the show anyway. He's just had some shenanigans. Anyway. I see you all, my lovely viewers in the chat. How are we doing? You know, I should probably show this out on the Twitter. Because I tried to do that. It didn't work for the first one. Anyway, so we're starting late. I think you know what happens, okay? Polly's not here, but he's here in spirit. And you know how I know he's here in spirit? It's because I was late and it was not my fault. That's how I know he's here in spirit. It's okay, Polly. I will endure. I will carry on in your name. All right. We're live. Yep, there we go. And by where I mean me. And by me, I mean the voices in me in my head. Anyway. So, because Polly informed me so last minute that he wasn't going to be here, I had to quickly come up with a completely different topic to talk about that I could just do on my own. Because I didn't really want to drag anyone else into the shenanigans so last minute, which is fine. I don't know what Eve's availability is on Thursday evenings. My bet is that if I ask her, she's available on Thursday evenings to fill in, or not Thursday evenings. If I asked her to fill in on Sunday evenings, there we go. When she's not, or when Polly is not available, I guess she'd be okay with that. But I don't know. I'd have to ask, and I haven't done that yet. Anyway, sorry, I'm switching between the two computers because I want to keep the chat and the Streamlabs on this monitor so that when I broadcast stuff, because we're going to do some broadcasting shenanigans on this monitor, hopefully StreamYards is capable of handling desktop audio as well as mic audio at the same time. If not, then we're going to have to do some completely different, which is fine. Again, I have contingencies for contingencies. I don't know how it's going to go because my contingencies are not usually as thought out as my initial plans, and my contingencies for my contingencies are not usually as thought out as my contingency plans. But you know what? We will endure. It's fine. It's okay. So many shenanigans. Exactly. Yes, you got it. You know, I'm not the ranting monkey, but I most definitely feel like one of the least professional monkeys on the internet right now. Anyway, so since it's cocktail hour, you're probably going to be wondering exactly what it is that I'm drinking tonight. Well, let me tell you. Because I went out and I bought this bottle of wine, especially for tonight. Because I deserve this. Tonight I deserve this. Absolutely, 100%. Let me just adjust. I do not have a booger. Thank you very much. Anyway, so this is a Barefoot Red Moscato from California. It's deliciously sweet because I like sweet things. I know. Sue me, wine enthusiasts. But it is juicy and fruity wine with distinct flavors of peaches and Bing cherries. We'll see about that. Is this actually happening? What, that I'm drinking on stream? Of course it's happening that I'm drinking on stream. We're going to try this wine. And when I was in Greece, I want you all to know, I learned how to taste wine like a professional. And what they told me was, one, if you're drinking a red, it's entirely okay to grab the big thick boy part of the glass, this part, without, worrying about fingerprints. Because it's not like a white wine where you're going to see them as readily. It's a red wine, so no one cares. The other thing is, you want to smell it first. Yep, that's wine. Definitely wine. No other type of alcohol is in this. It's just mushed up grapes that have been fermented for months and months and months and possibly years. I don't know. Does it say? It's best served chilled. Pairs well with soft white cheeses, fresh fruits, orange chicken salad, and all spicy fare. Hey, guess what I have? Brie! Which is a soft white cheese. I'm so into this whole cocktail hour thing. Oh, what a treat. Anyway, so you smell the wine. It's definitely wine. It smells fruity. And then, fuck, I forgot what happens next. Ah, yes. And then you drink it like you're God, what is this? What like you're in a car and everything's bumpy and you're trying not to spill, right? You drink it like this, so you have the stability to drink it. God damn it. And that was supposed to be a slurping, because when you slurp it like that, it aerates the wine for you, so you don't actually have to pour it into a thing to aerate it in that sense. Because I bet you didn't know this, but wine breathes. I learned that in Greece as well. Anyway. And after that, you can just drink it like it's nothing. Good shit. Another. Yeah, I'm really getting into the cocktail hour swing of things. I'm going to put that on the ground. And I'm going to put this over here. Because this is a new laptop. We are not getting anything on the new laptop. All right? All right. Good. Anyway, so wine breathes. It's alive. Exactly. You got me. Anyway, let's open up my brie. You're probably wondering what I have planned for us tonight, other than boomer moments. Well, it was a toss-up. I was thinking about going over the Joaquim Pheonix shenanigans, but then I had a better idea. And this all depends on whether or not StreamYard supports desktop audio, like I said. I was thinking that we could watch cringy political ads together and react to them. Now, I know that sounds very basic tier YouTuber-y type shenanigans, the easiest kind, but I have a special treat to show you all that not everyone gets to see unless, I directly shove your face into this advertisement for a political pundit, right? So I really want to share it with you guys. Anyway, so who else do we have in here? We have Jack Gunsky, we have Brad Young, we have Race Jacobson. Pace yourself. I will pace myself. I promise you that. I actually do have some studying to get done after I get done here. I have a nice solid base, which is fine. I had a burger earlier. I will not spill something on the new laptop. It's my baby. It's my sweet child. And I also have accident protection for 2 years, so it's fine. Look specifically for Moscato. Dry wine tastes like vinegar. I can do both. It depends on what it is that I'm eating it with, right? So it's like coffee. With coffee, you want a dark roast. Or if you want a dark roast, you usually go with something like sweet and chocolatey to kind of offset that balance of bitter and, acidic. Acidic? No, I'm sorry. It's the blonde roast that's acidic, I think. Did you get the rubber cover for the laptop yet? I did not. I literally just got the laptop this afternoon. Then I went to Walmart, got myself a Bluetooth mouse and some extra USB port attachments for it, just in case, because I plug a lot of things into this bad boy here. Even though I have a webcam, it's a thing. It's a thing. Anyway, I bet Weebo is gonna put on Greta Thunberg. Actually, I did not include her in the political ad stuff, but I could totally react to it live with you guys. You know what? Let's do that first. Let's do that first. All right. Just to experiment to make sure that this actually works. Because if this doesn't work, then we're going to talk about Joaquim Pheonix. But if it does work, then we're going to have a blast getting drunk together. Because expect fully that you are all getting drunk this nice Thursday evening. Along with me, so I don't feel alone and like an alcoholic. Remember, kids, it's not alcoholism until you graduate. But yes, we're all gonna get drunk together watching cringy political ads. All right, so let's go to YouTube.com. Look up Greta. Is it Thunberg or is it Thunberg? I've heard things. I've seen stuff. All right, so Greta, is it Thunberg or is it Thunberg? I really need to know. I need one that, yeah, let's go with this one. All right, and I need you guys to tell me whether or not you can hear it. It would help if I unmuted it, and then we gotta share the screen. Obviously, that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. Aren't we having just a great Thursday evening? All right, there we go. Let's pick that one. Which one is better? Is it the one where I'm full-faced, or does this? How's this? Does it make it bigger? If I make it bigger, does it? This is so much fun. Boomer Jones is out again. All right. Let me know if you can hear it. Hopefully you guys can hear it. If not, then is this Vice? No, it's Vice News. God damn it. Okay. We need to find one that is just her. Is it? Yeah, this looks good. All right. NBC. All right. Can you guys hear it? Can you hear it? All right, let me know if you guys can hear it. If not, then that is unfortunate. No noise. Fact. Is there a way to route? Is there a way to route? Tell me there's a way to route. Desktop audio into the mic. Okay, I'm getting mixed messages. Check Your Logic says yes. Brad Young says no. Stop messing with me. That's not funny. Okay, if we're going to do this, we'll do it at a later time. It's fine. Boomer Jones is at it again. Yeah, that's going on a t-shirt. We're making that into a thing. I want my brie. Does anyone know if there's a way to route desktop audio into StreamYard? You know what? I'm going to Google it while we're doing this. Least professional on the internet. StreamYard desktop audio. How do you live stream audio? How do you stream my computer screen? Excuse me. Pardon. Maybe. Voice meter is what you use. Okay. All right. Voice meter, baby. Audio. If I just download it, does it work? Let's see. 8-zip package, exe file. Let's do that. And let's stop screen sharing for the moment while I get this working in order. I noticed Greta is so close to great. Yes, you're not wrong. All right, we need to open this brie. Voice meter set up. I have bagel cracker thingies. I have these thingies, and they're the herb stuff shenanigans. This is rather unfortunate because I was super excited about looking at cringy political ads with you all. You must reboot your system to finalize installation. Not gonna happen, bitch. Not on my watch. Alright, what was it? God damn it, what did I just download? VB Audio. No, I need the actual application. VB. Is that what that is? Allow access. Okay. Now I have no idea what to do. Shh. It's giving me noises in my ear. What do you want from me? Oh my god. Close. It's a disaster, isn't it? Yes, it is, but it's fine. Voice meter. There we go. Okay. All right. So hardware input, select input device. We're going to do Yeti stereo microphone. Hardware input. Virtual input. Okay, so virtual. Damn it. Select main output device. What's going on? Let's do that. Yeti stereo. Literally, I am just. I can hear myself. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Can you guys still hear me? I have no idea what I'm doing, by the way. I wonder if it'll work if I just play. Audio renderer error. Please restart your computer. Fudge. Never mind. Audio renderer error. Please restart your computer. Let's just exit out of that. Why don't we? All right. So I guess this isn't going to work out. And apparently I'm going to have to figure out how to use the voice meter thing. Can you guys hear me now? Please tell me yes. This has been a lovely experiment, and what can go wrong will go wrong. Weebo? Yes, it can. At least I have my brie, and I did not open that the way that you're supposed to open the brie cheese. You can't hear me? Can you hear? It's amazing that I have 48 people watching me do this. I can hear you. Okay, good. So I guess we're going to talk about Joaquim Pheonix instead. That's fine. It's fine. It's not a big deal. All right? Just, I really wanted to watch cringy political ads with you guys. And now I can't. Now I have to eat and talk at the same time. I got this cheese at the end with the assumption that I'd be able to, and I just removed the wrapping. You're not supposed to do that yet. Like that. I got this brie cheese with the intention of eating it while you guys were watching this and while we were laughing so I could make like funny moments happen. But I guess that's not going to happen. It's fine. We're just going to have it be like a mukbang type of shenanigans, which I swore never to do, but you know, we're breaking all the rules today, you know. It's fine. I'm not upset. What are you talking about? I'm not upset. No, I had this brie cheese planned before I started being stressed out about the fact that nothing works for me. All right? I had this cheese before that. We're going to put it on the lid. Yep. That's good shit. I also have an apple pie because I like stuff. Okay. Holy crap, she learned what buttons do. That's a miracle. Thank you, John Woodruff. Holy crap, you learned what buttons do. A miracle. Yeah, I did. Anyone else having a fun day? You know, I got my car back from the mechanics today. $300 worth of parts. So $5 helps. Every little bit counts. I got the wrong freaking crackers, too. It's fine. We'll endure. So let's share the screen. All right? Because I found this article. It's about Joaquim Pheonix. You know, this guy who plays the Joker. And the title of this article is Why Joaquim Pheonix Walked Out of Our Interview. Now, I know a little bit about the Joaquim Phoenix stuff. The new Joker movie, I have not seen. I think it comes out on the 4th of October. I am super hyped to see it, not because I'm a deranged white male bent on avenging all of the slights that the world have dealt me, but actually because I'm a big DC fan, believe it or not. I don't know if you guys knew that. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, basically. So, apparently, Joaquim has been getting some shenanigans from the masses about his stuff. Am I allowed to like alter the size of this article and its display on the screen? Or is it just going to be like a constant war between me and the article? Is that what's happening here? Ooh. Yeah, we're still experimenting with StreamYard, so it'd be like that sometimes. Anyway, so I'm not like super in tune with what's going on with Joaquim Phoenix and the Joker shenanigans, but I know that there is controversy. So we're about to enlighten ourselves, and I'm glad that I'm taking you all on this journey with me. Weebo especially loves Rick Grayson. Can someone time Abaddon the Despoiler out for heresy? I'm just kidding. I had no idea that you're a DC fan and that you're a Nightwing fan. Yeah, no one has any idea of that. We're not going to put that near the computer. I almost made a boo-boo. No one had any idea. All right, so let's get into this article. So the title is No Joker, Why Joaquim Phoenix Walked Out of Our Interview. You know it's a bad sign when you post your article at 1 a.m. because your subject walked out of your interview before you could actually do anything. I was kidding. No, I didn't actually mean it. Don't time Abaddon out. It was a joke. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Abaddon. I still love you. All right. But you know it's going to be good when it's a post at 1 a.m. because most of my best work is done in the wee hours of the early morning, specifically between 1 and 3 a.m. But usually it has to do with like spring cleaning and it's in the middle of dead winter. So that aside, let's continue. From petulant Roman emperors to musicians battling demons, he's an actor who immerses himself in roles while delighting in wrong-footing those he works with, including Telegraph journals. Perfect preparation for his latest award-winning film, Joker. You know, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone getting so much hate for an award-winning film as Joaquim has. But you know what? I've only been alive for 21 years, and I didn't pay attention for half of that. Actually, like 3/4 of that. So What do I know? Anyway, Joaquim Pheonix is not laughing. The 44-year-old actor stretches his arms along the back of the sofa and fixes me with a look that could bore a hole in a tooth. He's dressed entirely in black, faded jeans, plain hoodie, with around half a week's salt and pepper stubble on his jaw, and silvering, near shoulder-length hair pushed back behind his ears. On this pricklingly hot West Hollywood day inside a nondescript business hotel, he looks like an Arctic wolf lost in a shopping center. But despite the heat, the atmosphere in the room has taken a tundra-like chill. I wonder why. Also, why does this read like a freaking novel? Anyway, why? He eventually mutters. Oh, why? He eventually mutters, his lips curling up at one side. Why would you? No. Then he stands up, shuffles towards me, clasps my hands between his, and walks out the door. We're talking about Joker, in which Joaquin plays a reimagined and chillingly credible version of the venerable comic book villain, in stark contrast to the ongoing cascade of shiny Marvel brand escapism. Joker grabs you by the throat and demands to be taken seriously. Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, at its premiere at last month's Venice Film Festival, the film received an 8-minute standing ovation. Jesus, that's excessive. That is too many minutes. I do not have that kind of attention span. Can we just, people, I know you want to show support for people and things that you find to be extra, oomphed in terms of like, yeah. But 8 minutes of standing ovation is entirely too long, and I'm a lazy jackass. So can we round it down to at least like 60 seconds before we all hit the celebratory champagne bottles and pass out in our limousines on the way back home? Thank you. Thank you very much. Continuing on. And Pheonix, who during his physical transformation to play the role lost a dramatic amount of weight, was immediately tipped for a Best Actor Oscar, which is interesting because like comic book movies never get Oscar cred, like it's not just certainly not winning them, certainly not nomination, but like being pushed towards that. Yeah, how can people clap for 8 minutes? Like this? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna clap for 8 minutes. It's excessive, though. That is excessive. At a certain point, you have to think to yourself, I look like a goddamn seal at this point, right? Yeah, you probably do. You probably do. His Joker is a villain for our times, an unstable, self-pitying loner with a mass shooter mindset. He writes an unhinged manifesto, fantasizes about killing himself on live television, agitates for chaos on the streets. Unlike Heath Ledger's inscrutable take on the character in 2008, The Dark Knight, Phoenix's Arthur Fleck, a failed comedian who still lives with his elderly mother, is the horribly familiar enemy within. If the film hadn't been set in the 80s, he could easily be the latest online message board extremist to take his grievances murderously viral. Yet, Pheonix doesn't seem to have considered this kind of question at all. So when I put it to him, aren't you worried that this film might perversely end up inspiring exactly the kind of people it's about, with potentially tragic results? His fight or flight response kicks in. Okay, pause. The whole debate about whether or not life takes inspiration from art more so than art takes inspiration from life, in the sense that, oh yeah, video games can cause, violence and stuff, or music causes violence, is kind of ridiculous, because here's the thing, right? We are taking these everyday human, not everyday, but these human experiences that, on some level a certain sect of people have experienced, right? Like, I mean, let's be honest, there are a few people out there who have been depressed, who have been failing comedians, who have had weird ass shenanigans happen to them. In a movie sense, right? Not in a video game sense. We're not trailing to that end of the spectrum of shenanigans yet. But in the movie sense, right? Movies are usually meant to take something about real life and turn it into a spectacle for other people to watch on a screen to make it a little bit less unrelatable. Not that people want to relate to serial killers and whatnot, but people are fascinated with observing such phenomena, right? People are obsessed with observing crazy shenanigans. It's why you look at a car accident when you're on the road, right? It's why your vision trails off when you see like a police car. Even if it's not a crash, you look because you're like, what's going on there? It's the turning, it's the staring at a train wreck mentality that people delve into, not because they want to get inspired, but because they're curious. They're wondering. And of course, things start going off on my computer. But they're wondering about that phenomena, that person. What is going on in their head? What led them to this path, this lifestyle? It's actually one of the reasons why I think Heath Ledger's Joker was fairly fascinating, because you don't get those answers. And you so desperately want to know why the Joker does what he does in those movies. And you know what? You don't get an answer. Some men just want to watch the world burn, right? So even when you don't get those answers, people want to look. People want to ogle. It's one of those hallmarks of humanity, right? We just watch. We watch. We read. We listen to music. We observe other people's experiences through this alternate lens that isn't just our eyes, but their masterpieces, or their not so much masterpieces. I am on stream, buddy. Okay, what? The door's open. I think it's Balak. Balak, what do you want? You can open the door. Yes. Most professional show on the internet, isn't it? We're not going to worry about it. It's fun. What an asshole. Okay, where was I? Something about our oh yes, humanity likes to watch. We do. We are goddamn voyeurs, let's be honest. Like, not in the sexual sense, but in the, okay, sure, but just in the everyday sense. You ever people watch? You ever look at someone and be like, why the frick is he picking his nose in public? Who? Because he doesn't think anyone's watching, but let's be honest, someone somewhere is watching. It's the PC police. All right. Thanks, Balak, for getting me out of my mindset of rantiness, because I was getting to an interesting place there. It could have been great, but it's gone now. Anyway, mine too, just about. When you've watched and rewatched Phoenix play some of the modern cinema's most mesmerizing powder kegs, from the masters Juan and Warzonk Freddy Quell to You Were Never Really Here's Bear Like Vigilante, Joe, I can assure you, you don't want to be on the receiving end of that thin-eyed glare in real life. That's actually pretty nice, that's a nice picture of Joaquin. Good for him. He looks stern. Yeah. Excuse me, I burped. What?
So,
they can't see you, right?
I don't care. They still heard it. Discord, I think, disconnected me.
Oh, you poor thing.
I'm also dead inside.
That's okay. You want some brie?
Cheese?
Yeah.
Do you have crackers?
I have these weird little bagel thingies.
Fuck you. No.
That kid's going to grad school. You guys know that? Oh, gosh. So glad we've had 4 years of shenanigans together. Him and Boyfriend, I swear to God. Freaking peas in a pod. Whenever Boyfriend comes down to visit, it's like, I don't have a boyfriend anymore. Bailey has a boyfriend now. Anyway, continuing on. All right, it takes an hour's peace brokering with a Warner Bros. PR to get things back on track. Pheonix panicked, he later explains, because the question genuinely hasn't crossed his mind before. Then asks me, not for the first time, what an intelligent answer might have sounded like. He's being boyishly open now, as if the man who walked out of the room 60 minutes ago was another person entirely, like an embarrassed kid making amends for his short-tempered dad. Did you bug out? He giggles. Why, yes, Joaquim. I did. Even with the tension punctured, this brooding 3-time Oscar nominee and transparent publicity phobe, he and his fiancée, the 34-year-old actor Rooney Mara, are hardly fixtures on the LA party circuit. It's by no means an obvious choice to play the lead in a major comic book film. I mean, unless it is the Joker, because, like, let's be honest, right? Isn't Joaquin Phoenix I think I've only maybe ever seen him in, like, one movie, and it was that Gladiator-ish movie, I think, and I can't even remember what it was, what it was about. I could remember what it's about, maybe if I was reminded, but I know he was in that movie, and I know he made a decent villain person. I don't know. It doesn't really... Sorry. Tangent aside. In 2014, Marvel tried to woo him for the lead role in Doctor Strange, though he eventually passed and the part went to Benedict Cumberbatch. Benedict, you were second best. Oopsies. He was the Emperor in Gladiator. Thank you. All right. Was it Claudius that he was playing? If it was Claudius, that makes a lot of sense. Signs. I've not seen The Master. I've not seen Signs. Wow, I need to update my movie watching shenanigans. I mostly stick to, like, the fantasy period stuff. Anyway. Yeah, which emperor did he play? That's a good question. You know what? I'm gonna look it up. Was it Joaquin? How do you spell Joaquin? Joaquin Phoenix. Yep, I'm in college. Gladiator. I got this. Commodus. It was close. I knew it was C, but I didn't know which C. Anyway, sorry. Distracted. You know how it be. The difference this time was the Joker character himself, whom Phoenix describes with perhaps a twinge of self-awareness as posing questions with no easy answers. Here's something. All right. So, the best Joker that we've had thus far, Heath Ledger, obviously. And he was hailed for that part. I think the only person before Joaquin to actually live up to that standard in any sense, it's probably Mark Hamill, because, believe it or not, he also plays the Joker, but in a different medium. He's the animated voice actor for the Joker, and he does a fantastic job, you know, barring the lack of ability to do much more than voice act for a character that's animated, right? At least it's my personal opinion. You can feel free to disagree, but I'm right. Then we got, what was his name? What was his face? Who was the next Joker? It was in Suicide Squad, right? And, I mean, you know, we all saw Suicide Squad. It was not good. I actually regret watching that movie. Jared Leto, thank you. Jared Leto was an abysmal representation of everyone's favorite famous insane clown. It'd be like that sometimes, though. You know. So we were due for, you know, a comeback actor, someone to take up the role and make it into what it once was. And that's insane, iconic, yes, and insane, and just It's a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon. Let's be honest. The Joker, of all the characters that you've ever come across, there's not one that's much like him. He's ambiguous, because prior to this movie, obviously, he doesn't really have much of an origin story, and even if he does, it's kind of convoluted by the other, is it 3 origin stories? But he's iconic because he is the foil to Batman in that sense. But he's also just a great villain, I think. And of course, feel free to disagree with me, but definitely he's up there. So sorry. Let's continue on. How familiar was he with the source material? What do I say to make me sound smart and not offend the wrong people, he says, before admitting Ledger and Jack Nicholson's performances were the only versions of the Joker that to cross his radar. What grabbed him was the script. Typically, the motivations of characters in most movies, certainly in the superhero genre, are very clear, he says in a husky, fast-flowing drawl. What is it with all of, the adjectives in this article? Is this, what a typical Telegraph article is supposed to read as? Is it a little bit more novel-ish in its construction and its word choice? Because this doesn't read like a normal article that I normally would read. Is this what journalism is actually supposed to kind of read like? I need to stop reading Daily Mail because that's way too low bar for me, I guess. Adjectives equals me too good journalism. That's not necessarily what I mean. I mean, it sounds better than what I'm used to reading, I could be wrong. Anyway. Typically the motivations are certain, and that wasn't the case in this. To me, that was a challenge. There was something here to explore that I didn't fully understand. Isn't that also a part of acting, right? It's the exploration of characters, people, mindsets that you're not 100% in tune with naturally, right? It's playing something that you're not. It's diving into the mindset of someone that you aren't. It's attempting to encapsulate this experience to give it its fair shot at depiction on the big screen in order for people to understand, 1, the motivation of the character, right? 2, the plot. 3, the vision of the people behind the creative process. It's not so much about invigorating the next generation of school shooters to go out and do what they may. But call me crazy. Intrigued, he met with the film's director and writer Todd Phillips, best known for the Hangover trilogy, in which 4 hapless... Yes, we already know what the Hangover trilogy is. Phoenix clearly adores Phillips, and as such, he is quick to forestall any raised eyebrows over his unusual gross-out pedigree. I think a lot of people saw them as these, bro movies, and they're not. There's always a real sensitivity to his characters. But no matter what else had been seen on Phillips' CV, his Joker script written with Scott Silver would have stopped readers in its tracks. A black urban thriller that picks the pockets of Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver and the King of Comedy, about a delusional, aspiring comedian who abducts a talk show host he idolizes. Robert De Niro, who stars in both, appears in Joker as a talk show host idolized by Phoenix's author. What? Okay. Phillips has said he wrote it with a picture of Phoenix pinned above his desk. In short, rather than coaxing Phoenix into a comic book film, he bent a comic book into a Phoenix one, and their approach was instinctive. Phoenix says the two would talk on the phone for up to 3 hours every evening, then turn up the next day and try things out to see what worked. The only research he did was watching videos of pseudobulbar effect, an emotional condition that causes sufferers to laugh and cry uncontrollably, because he saw the Joker's trademark cackle as a neurological tic. See, this is the kind of, okay, we hear all these stories, right, about Heath Ledger locking himself in a freaking, the method acting as such of, people, Heath Ledger locking himself in a room for, 2 months, and writing all of his insane thoughts down in a diary or whatever. I mean, and then, of course, Jared Leto trying to live up to that standard, sending all of his co-hosts or co-actors, I think it was condoms. I do not words. I do not words right. No, I don't. Certainly not. But yeah, so we have all of these examples of this. This is, I feel like it should be commended more than it should be judged on its morality or looked at with scrutiny because you think that it's going to lead to someone embodying this. We have to remember people are responsible for their own actions. And I guess some degree, our parents are also responsible for the way that we become adults and take out those actions. So we are responsible, yes. Parents are also equally responsible, or not equally, but to some degree also, they have a responsibility to make sure that we don't grow up into Joaquim Phoenix's Joker. But if people gonna be assholes, they're gonna be assholes regardless of whether or not we have this kind of content out there in the ether. Obviously, it's not going to stop them. Okay? It's not going to stop them. If someone wants to be bad enough, they will be bad because that is what they want to do. The method with which they go about, the way that they go about being bad might be affected, sure, in that, instead of shooting up a movie theater in the middle of a Dark Knight premiere, they might shoot up like a preschool for whatever reason during a parent show and tell type thing, right? That's extremely gruesome and dark, but I think it makes my point that the way that people go about enacting their violent urges might be affected by the media the media that they absorb, but I don't think that not having this out there is going to stop them from acting on those urges. In the same way that I don't think not having access to guns is going to stop people from committing suicide if they want to bad enough. The same way that I think that people not having access to knives or, say, sporks is going to keep people from killing other people in England by means of assault van. We've been killing each other as a species for a great many years, all the way back to pre-Mesolithic times and beyond, because sometimes it was necessary, sometimes, it was unavoidable, and sometimes people just are wrong. That's unfortunate, yes, and it's scary to think about, but some people just are wrong, I guess. Wow, this is a heavy episode. I'm so sorry. Wow. So Joker is set in Gotham City, though it closely resembles New York of the early 1980s, with rampant street crime and economic inequality, part inspired by the so-called subway vigilante Bernard Goetz, who became a folk hero in some quarters after shooting 4 black teenagers he took from muggers when they approached him on public transport. In the film, it's Wall Street traders that feel Arthur's wrath. Excuse me. How long does this thing go for? Let's skip to the very end. Looking back, he now sees the film as willful self-immolation. I don't think I ever took the conventional path from the beginning. Even make the movie was my way of taking my career in a different direction. The time comes when you're told that you have to be in studio movies because it makes it easier to make the movies that you want to make because you're more bankable or whatever it is. And then you do that and nothing changes. Or rather, one thing does, you have more opportunities to make more studio movies, but it doesn't increase the quality of the movies that you're getting. There certainly are other people that could have cast, obviously. It wouldn't have resulted in this film. It would have been different, but who knows? Maybe it would have been better. And I'm touched if you think they'd put that much stock in me. If that's what you're saying. my attention span is notoriously short. We all know this. So you know what? I want to hear what you guys think. Yeah, and you know what? I'll link this in the description. Copy. Paste. Enter. If you want to read it, go ahead. Thank God you stopped boomerang. I'll never stop boomerang. It's within my nature. It's how I be. I am the boomer. The boomer weeb. And that rhymed. I'm so happy about that. We need more brie. Can't believe Balak was so just mental about my brie habits. Sorry. I'm hungry. Ooh, cake. As you can tell, I'm a fat ass. I'm actually down weight, which is nice. Good shit. It's brie. And what kind of brie is it? Yeah, I didn't actually talk about the brie, did I? It's Laughing Cow Creamy Swiss Garlic Herb. Anyone else like really enjoy cheese? Weebo ASMR. That's not gonna happen. This is the only time, and it's only because I thought I was gonna have more ability to eat while I was muted and we were watching, political ads. But no, it's fine. I thought it was gonna be a proper cocktail hour. Anyway, so I ranted for like a good half an hour about that article. I don't know. It's just. I said, let the man do what he will. Let the man make his movies. Leave him alone. We need more. I wouldn't call this necessarily original, but it's a lot more original, a lot more daring than what it is that we've been getting recently, which is remakes and reboots and sequels or prequels and, attempts to capitalize on franchises that already exist. Didn't we just get another Rambo movie? I never actually watched the Rambo movies, but we just got another one, right? Did we need another Rambo? And do we need to continue the Marvel franchise past this point that we've already hit at? I get it. It's a hot money maker. But did we need to? I don't know. For whatever reason, the collective, everyone, we got lazy. We decided that it was better to be safe than to be daring. And then the moment that someone is a little bit daring with their content, with what it is that they're doing with their careers, we fly off the handle. We get a little bit antsy about it because we're like, it's different, it's scary, it's going to encourage violence and that's because Rambo's not, or something like that. If that's your idea, the threshold is like, this too closely resembles school shooters. It's a little bit too edgy. It's extra. It's a bit different. But Rambo, it's fine. Crazy bitch blasting through a whole bunch of spaceships in the form of Brie Larson. It's fine. And stealing a motorcycle. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. I want to see more original content out there. I really do. Because I feel like we're definitely lacking. So let's see the comments. Jolander thinks that we needed a Rambo. And you know what? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe we did. I should probably watch Rambo. My dad is a big fan, I think. I'll watch it. And then I'll make up my mind on whether or not we need another Rambo. I still maintain that the hysterical media is far more likely to produce murderers than movies. You know what, actually? Let's talk about that. And it's not just producing murderers, it's producing this element of doom, this foreboding of the end of all things, of you're constantly in trouble, things are always going to be horrible, the world's going to end. And I'm not just talking about climate change, I'm like, everything is panic, 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 you're all going to die, we're living in a dictatorship, yada, yada. And can we not I need to be able to exist on a plane of existence, right? Where the most pressing issue that I have, and just the public has, is, are we going to pass our midterms, or are we not? Can we go back to that? Is that too much to ask? Hi, I think I'm real. I really want the president to get a meme. Think of the memes. You know what? That would be pretty funny. Say let it all burn. It'll be hilarious. Trust me, the memes would be worth it. But like, let's think about it, right? The past 4 years, at least for me, it's always been this idea of they're coming for us. They're coming for us. Like it's either they're going to deport all of us immediately, even if we're protected by sanctuary cities or whatever. It's going to be like the end of the days if we go back to our countries just for a little bit. Or they're coming for your guns. They are coming for your guns. You will not be able to wield your ARs in the streets anymore, which you definitely can. Or they're coming for your free speech. It's always the end of the days, but I never really picked up on this feeling of it's the end. The end is nigh. The world is collapsing. Civil war is upon us. I mean, yes, things get crazy for a little bit, but I don't think the general populace is actually like, yes, let's do this. Let's have an apocalypse. Let's civil war our brains out. Like it's just another Thursday down at the bowling alley and you have like one too many beers. It's fine. Don't worry about it. When did we become so reactionary? Have we always been like this? Did I just start paying attention and I never realized it beforehand? Can someone really? Is it just me? Because I don't feel like I remember earlier on in my life, right? Such a level of panic. I think I'm real. People used to be able to derive a sense of purpose or even heroism simply from surviving, staving off hunger, tilling land, minimizing suffering. Yeah, I get that. Can we blame Twitter? I blame the media for sensationalizing all this, and I keep trying to put it over here, but I'm like, I need it. I mean, we could probably blame Twitter, but we can also most likely blame the media, because let's be honest, right? Panic sells. If your viewership, if your audience isn't clicking on that button because they think that something is amiss, then you're not doing your job. You are not getting paid. And so therefore, you have to create this artificial panic, this level of, oh my God, we're all going to die. They're coming for everything that you own. You're going to be living in a totalitarian, authoritarian dictatorship akin to that of Kim Jong-un. Like, we're nowhere near that. We're not. And, like, our problems are definitely not on that level. Definitely not. We have a long way to go before that's the case. And we have a lot of people that will fight tooth and nail to be like, yeah, no, that's not happening. There is a level of resistance that is put up at even the mere, like, thought of any of that nonsense. There is a check to this balance for whatever reason. Like, certainly there are parts of the world that are similar to that, but that are like in that level of end of days, our world is collapsing, they're coming for your wives and daughters and we're all gonna die tomorrow type of nonsense. But that's not the case in the United States. Trump could never be a dictator simply because that would be stopped immediately. I mean, come on. There's been so much pushback from the media just at the mere inkling that he might be, might have abused his power in any level, on any level, in any sense. We don't need Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. Stop it, Data Wasteland. I see you. Real, do you want on? Because I can send you a link right now. I can pop you in here. Okay, that sounded dirty. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be less inappropriate. That's why we're doing serious stuff like the end of the world and stuff. Mashisu for $5 says, Scribe says you need some tongue buttering in your life. We're trying to be good. We're trying to be wholesome. Now, what was I saying about the end of days and taking all your guns and murdering wives and children? Ah, yes. Something akin. Don't read super chat. Too late. I need more of this. You guys are going to be the end of me. Jack Gunsky, the media has been poisoning the well of Trump's presidency since the start. We shouldn't even be talking about dictatorship. It's a problem invented by the media. Whole cloth? Wholesome. It's not just that, though, right? Because it's not just the left in this sense. And I see it from the right, too, in this idea of they're coming for your guns, or they're coming for your free speech, or, you know, the internet's not going to be free anymore. Remember when net neutrality was such a thing and everyone was all hopped up on this idea that the internet, as the Wild West as we know it, is coming to an end or something? You know who's always got a doomsday mentality, all right? And I don't know if you guys watch him enough to actually garner this from him, but Mr. Medicare has a doomsday mentality, like, for the stars. It's insane. It's a little bit nuts, actually. It's kind of like, dude, chill. You are bringing down the vibe of this place. And maybe that's like his audience's cup of tea. I don't know. But I don't get the impression that, and I keep repeating myself in that respect, I don't get the impression that the world is going to end immediately. That, you know, they're coming for your guns, that the end of free speech is nigh, that the world is going to end because of, you know, the turtles being forked by, what do you call it? Plastic straws. There we go.
Hello.
It's been a long time.
It's been a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, God, I just woke up.
You just woke up and you decided to watch my happy ass?
I was scrolling through my sub feed and I saw you streaming, so I thought I'd pop in.
Oh, nice. Well, usually I have a co-host. Actually, this is only the second episode that we're supposed to be doing this, but he could not be here. So we were talking about Joaquim Pheonix, and now we're just talking about the end of the world.
Well, one thing that what I was saying in the chat, I can't stick around too long, but something that
No,
maybe your viewers might find interesting. I've been working through I've been talking with people about it, and I really think that part of the reason why we have such a politically charged, like an emotionally politically charged environment on the internet, which I think is strange, is like why did we accept that that's our reality, but I don't think we ever try to diagnose why. And I think it's because human beings have a reserve of emotional intensity. I think that we are hardwired to prepare for difficult, adverse experiences because I think on a base level, we have an instinct to detect suffering. Like we invite suffering. We understand that that's sort of this constant. Most of the most defining moments in people's lives are often because of or due to or after they've examined suffering. And I think that's not a profound statement on its own, but I think that what we're experiencing now is that we have so it's an interesting environment, right? Like, we have this globally conscious planet, which has done one thing, which is kill the mystery of the world. Like, we can sort of Google image anything we want to look at, and that's kind of an unprecedented thing. So the world is considerably less mysterious. It's considerably less magical, which I think takes away quality from existing in it. While we're here now in the West, at least, the food and shelter, clothing, indoor plumbing, sewage, water filtration, antibiotics, all of these things have essentially eliminated the cause of a lot of suffering and death through most of human history. And so what we are now is we are these lonely, people relegated to, I mean, especially if you're living in a big city, you're relegated to these small apartments surrounded by other human beings, living in these tightly packed compounds, essentially, with terrible air quality, working jobs, and doing these very menial tasks in order to be able to participate in these systems in a world that has lost any luster or magic that it might have had before, because there's no need to think of the world as something that can be discovered. So it's like you feel like I've seen everything there is to see, or I can see everything there is to see very easily. We have access to everything that can mitigate death and suffering very quickly. I mean, I don't know. I mean, God, I can't even imagine that anybody would starve to death in the United States of America in the 21st century. I just can't see that happening. But that was the cause of a lot of death for a lot of human history. All of these things that would cause us suffering and pain, but also give us purpose and a sense of urgency to live our lives to their fullest, have been removed. But so we have this untapped reserve of intensity, like this emotional need to suffer, which I think is what is informing the extremely emotionally politically charged environment that we're dealing with, in which people are speaking past each other and not recognizing each other's humanity. There are ideas that some people simply refuse to acknowledge as valid, and so therefore, these conversations aren't able to happen. There's simply 0 to 60 disagreement to hatred, the kind of thing happening. I think it's because life is so easy that everything else is becoming, by necessity, we have to do something with our instinct for suffering, and I think that we're pouring that into the general zeitgeist, the political zeitgeist at large. And so that's what I wanted to throw out there in so many words.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you came on to talk about it, because I don't know. I feel like you verbalizing it to the people is a lot better than just like to the chat. Here, let me throw this out there. Maybe someone will read it.
Yeah, I mean that was hard to verbalize on its own, and I would have had a hard time writing it.
I think I got it. So I guess what I'm kind of understanding from you is, and I wouldn't say necessarily suffering so much as like this internalized drive to expect the absolute worst, or to actually, or at least prepare for the absolute worst, because we're so evolutionarily hardwired to, from like many generations of just barely surviving on our own, right? Evolutionarily learning to expect all of this, that it's just become ingrained into our brains as this default, instead of just achieve homeostasis and like let's leave it there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So and I think that it's you could think of it as almost like a currency. One thing that I like, if I talk to people about what's like human relationships in general, which is extremely complicated to deal with, right? I like to first frame everything, all of my opinions about human relationships, with the idea that there is a finite emotional currency that you can spend up to a point, until you wait for the next paycheck, right? Until you wait for the next moment that your bank your reserve is refilled. And I think that our instinct for, or even maybe our weird defeatist resignation for suffering, like we need it. I think that's also something that is a currency, but we just don't have as many opportunities to spend that currency. So we seek it out through other emotional experiences, or we simulate suffering in order to spend that currency, because it like we just can't hold on to so much of it at once. We have to get rid of it, and we don't. And I think that's it's doing a number on all of us. Everything's so easy, everything is so soft, and all the edges are rounded and padded, and it's an interesting thing that we have convenienced suffering almost entirely out of our lives, and have created a spiritual sickness, which is like, how do we address that? I don't think we can, because then how do you take a creature like a human being, and tell them, now that you've shown them a world of ease and no pain and food all the time and temperatures at comfortable spots all the time, how do you take that creature and tell them, now we need to take this away from you because you've lost your way spiritually, and because you're not suffering enough in order to experience purpose.
We
How do
can't
how
go
do
back.
you can't go back. Absolutely not.
So you think that we're suffering from this case of chronically not facing adversity enough, and that when we actually come across it, we won't be able to handle it in the way that we should be able to because we hadn't been prepared for it previously.
Oh,
And
of course
so,
not.
thus,
And you
everything is the
yeah,
end of the world.
you see that on Twitter with this like very like the what do they call them, the doomer zoomers or whatever, like this idea that or even I mean humor. We'll do something easier like humor.
Yeah.
Some of the most viral tweets on the internet aren't necessarily funny in a traditional sense. Like it's post comedy. It's still funny, but it's post comedy, and that like you'll go on there and like 250,000 likes, 150,000 retweets, and it's like, haha, good morning, I want to kill myself. Like that's the joke, right?
I think
And
it's funny that it's supposed to be a joke.
and it is weirdly funny in that it's absurd and defeatist. And I understand that because I'm a young person in the generation too. I understand the flavor of humor that we have, but it's like, like, oh hey, have a good day, except maybe people that do this and this and this, or maybe myself because I make these choices, like whatever. Like you go out there and they say these very heavy things, which I think is funny if we unpack that for a while. It's like the fact that you can go on a social media site and for the purpose of humor say something that it's emotionally relevant and that's extremely heavy for the purpose of making a joke, I think is indicative of how invested you are in your own life, and that maybe you aren't so invested in your life as you should be. But how do we teach people to take those things seriously? Should we even? Do we have any responsibility to do so? I think at the end of the day, people need to be aware of how like petulant we are becoming because of how easy life is, and take on. I mean, and this is Jordan Peterson, like 101. He says take on a load, right? Bear a load. You have to bear your cross, because I think people become better versions of themselves when they have a heavy responsibility to uphold or to honor. And in this world, you have to put that on your own shoulders a lot of the time. Everything else is going to be taken care of for you. And I mean, I blew a coworker's mind today when I told her, like, can you imagine that? I mean, do you not ever think about the fact that no one starves to death in the United States? Like, to death. I'm sure there are hungry people out there, but no one starves to death. I can't even imagine that. There are plenty of people that are dying of an abundance of food, but
Not here.
Not the contrary. So that's an interesting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I got a Streamlabs and I just got to take care of it before I forget it, because I'm just so, Race Jacobson, thank you for the $1 over on the Streamlabs. You can sum up everything this man is saying in one word: boredom. The people who use politics and conflict in general as a way to break the monotony have no imagination. These are the people who have the least to offer mankind. I don't know if I would call it boredom, because I get bored pretty often, and I don't think it's like an end of days type of thing. I just find something else to do. But then again, I grew up with a certain amount of adversity, certainly not starving to death, but, I was cold at times during the middle of the winter because the heat wasn't on. I watched my parents go through a freaking messy divorce. So, it wasn't an easy childhood, but, I think I grew up a lot stronger because of it. And I don't have this end of the world mentality that a lot of my generation does. This feeling of panic for the sake of panic for the sake of panic,
Yeah. And I also don't know if boredom is necessarily the heart of the issue, because I can't imagine how boring the first 40,000 years of human civilization were. I mean, what do you do? What do you do all day long? Is just
you
work.
Survive.
Yeah.
You literally survive by the skin of your teeth, and every day is a struggle. Every day is who's gonna catch dysentery this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, you die.
Am I gonna bury grandma, or is it sister today?
You stub your toe on a rock and your whole body falls apart, right? And that's it. And that's
you
the end of your story.
And that's you're gone.
And then you're done. You've clocked out for life. I think that those people were probably intensely bored. I don't think it's necessarily what made them And I won't speak to the virtue of people long gone. I don't know. I mean, maybe times before were no better than that. I'm romanticizing, because I do have this idea that what's important is purpose, and
Having something to drive you.
yeah. And so right now, and I tend to think of purpose being derived from like adversity and suffering. Those are sort of things that I think create purpose. So I sort of come to this conclusion that there was an abundance of purpose because there has been an abundance of suffering through human history, and that there is an absence of purpose now because there is like a shortage. There's a deficit of purpose or of suffering rather. And I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that's sort of how I framed my worldview, and I framed my attempt to understand why it is that we live in this extremely charged culture. I just feel like, if you had to wake up at dawn to till the land and to tend to your livestock and to work the land until sundown, 7 days a week, and to try to get along with your family as best as you can and raise your kids with some values to the best of your ability, and try to keep your spouse happy for the rest of your lives. If that occupied all of your time, do you really think that you would mind much what Trump said or didn't say?
No, absolutely not. You can actually, if you look back in the histories, because though I am a computer science and psychology major, I do take a lot of history classes because that's another one of my academic loves, I guess you could say. If you look back in the history, a lot of the everyday average Joe people out in the country, like if you take the French Revolution, right? Everyone in the city, sure, was all obsessed with the idea of toppling the monarchy and, beheading anyone who threatened the liberty that they were attempting to manifest here. But everyone outside of Paris, essentially, who wasn't a part of Vive la Resistance, was just minding their own business, doing what they did all day long, survive. Maybe toil with some economic ups and downs or what have you, but they were just interested in making sure they put food on the table for, the kids and the wife, and making sure that they survived through the next winter, to make sure that, they could survive through the next winter and the next winter and all that jazz. A lot of people's self-interest for a very long time throughout history was just about surviving that day, and then the week, and then that month. During the Mesolithic time, certainly, it was about, making a little bit easier. The Neolithic, all that is just, we've gone through stages where it gets a little bit easier, but then it comes with challenges. And now we're at the peak of like human existence where everything is just, a quick hop, skip down to the Aldi down the street, right? And then you just, you contribute a quarter to the cart, and then you just drive around, you get everything, it's all convenient for you, and then you drive home and make it, and there's not really much left to do after that. You don't have to go out and collect things, you don't have to go out and trade things with other people to make sure that you have what you need. Yeah. So we do lack a lot of the inconveniences because we have a lot of conveniences as a species now in first world countries. So we do lack a lot of the adversity that does make life feel like it's got more purpose than it actually does.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting to see that there are a couple of dissonances that you can note in reality now, where we have in the West, for the most part, we have access to like antibiotics, water filtration, sewage systems, indoor cooling, whatever, refrigeration, fucking miracles, all of these things like we take for granted. But I mean, like refrigeration systems, I mean, it revolutionizes the home life. We have access to all these things, and yet in record numbers have people experiencing depression and anxiety. And it's insane to me. It's like, we have worked as a species now in these particular slices of geography in Canada and the United States and in Europe and Australia and most westernized countries. We have access to all these things, and yet you're telling me that you're all depressed and extremely anxious. It's like, that isn't why. It seems like that shouldn't happen, and yet that's what we're experiencing. And at the same time, you can juxtapose our extremely simple and convenient existence with people that do not have that kind of access right now. I mean, you could just take an image of a suburb in I don't know, Burbank or something in California, and then juxtapose it with a village in Haiti, and these are two absolutely real places existing at the exact same time on the exact same planet, and the experience of life is so different. But there isn't necessarily like I mean, I'm sure that there's plenty of suffering in those villages in Haiti or in small parts of underdeveloped countries, but those people derive their sense of happiness one way or another, and they entertain each other in whatever way that they can between those long moments of suffering, and they live and they die and they have children and they pass on values in the same way that anybody else can, and they do their best. That's still happening. So that's sort of a testament to the fact that we don't need this. Everything that we have, we do not need this. It isn't the only choice that we have. Progress, this everlasting march forward towards something that we can't see and that we can't describe, that isn't truth. We don't have to do this. That we can at any point say, actually, I'm going to stop. We're going to stop right here, right now. We're not going to move forward anymore. We don't need to. Everything's good. I think that would be a responsible thing to do. We're not going to do that because we're used to iterating constantly on our daily life, improving constantly on our daily life. I mean, shit, I've been around for not a long time, and we've gone from not having supercomputers in our pockets, and now we've got them, and cars being a thing that you operate manually, and now it's like BMW just advertised a self-driving, completely automated vehicle, and the couple in the car is like almost like pre-sex, and it's very interesting. And I haven't been around very long, but I've already seen those things change.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the self-driving cars.
It's interesting.
The automation of like cars is just like a point of contention within the computer science community. I'm not even kidding. But you're not wrong. But imagine like a world where we'd have to like go backwards from the point that we're already at right now, or people who have grown used to it. Like, do you think that you would be able to tolerate an existence where you don't have your iPhone on you or your Android right now?
Probably not. It would be very difficult to reacclimate to those things. But it's also a deeper issue, because for me, fulfillment is this very distant, kind of exaggerated idea of success, where we're talking an extreme of abundance, and we're talking like massive access to resources, unprecedented in history. That's sort of what success looks like to me. And I would have to unlearn that in my brain and be like, it is enough to have a healthy, fed family, to have a home that is comfortable and structured with values that I believe in, with a spouse that's happy and who loves me and who I can love too, where like that's the ultimate goal in life, which has been, I think, for most of human history, the best you could get. For that to be the thing that I want ultimately, I'd have to untrain myself from wanting to pursue in a very American way, more money, more cars, with a bigger car, a faster iPhone, more expensive clothing. I mean, this is what I want on a day-to-day basis, and it's what I pursue on a day-to-day basis, fully aware of the fact that it does not bring me any fulfillment. As a matter of fact, it probably only serves to make sure that I operate well in the machine, in the hamster wheel of Western society, and it doesn't bring me any spiritual fulfillment in the way that maybe starting a family or something like that would bring me. And that's, it's this cognitive dissonance that I don't think I'm ever going to be able to work through. I know that it's not what I need, and yet I pursue it anyway. And so that's where I am right now.
That's a lot, actually. And it's just in time for the end of the show, because we do it till 9:30. It's just an hour and a half. So cocktail hour goes for 90 minutes, which is hilarious. And before we go, thank you to Race Jacobson for the $1 over on the Streamlabs. The evil geniuses from the Frankfurt School planted this notion of the personal is political in American politics. When the personal is political, the political becomes personal. In order to bring reason back to politics, you have to remove ego from it. And I 100% agree with that. Remove your ego from it, because you have to consider that it's not just you. It's someone else also. It's a lot of someone else's also. And thank you, Real,
Thank
for
you.
joining.
This was a nice surprise.
This was a nice surprise. We should do this more often.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
And thank you, chat, for being here. Thank you to all who donated, and thank you to those who watch in the future. I hope you enjoyed this lovely conversation that we just had. And I'm so sorry that Polly couldn't be here to have this conversation with us because he's my co-host. He does comic book curation. I'll put Reel's links in the description when we get off here, and I'll see you guys not this Sunday, but next Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this channel. And until then, have some fun. Peace.
Good night.
And